Hello, guys, and welcome back to Odds Premier League. After fixing some issues, we are back to analyze the penultimate match day with Tom Rennie. Hi, Tom.
Oh, it's lovely to see you again. And the good news is this time is where I'm going to bring my peak material. Rehearsals are over. Here comes the gold.
I was missing you, so let's analyze everything with you and with everyone. Leave a comment below. You will have the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet, and press the like button if you enjoy our videos. Of course, subscribe and click on the bell to get notifications. So let's analyze as we did. Man United, Fulham. I was saying, Tom, that I expect Solskjaer to make a very good starting 11 to prepare that Europa League final against Villarreal, and I guess they should have an easy victory against Fulham, because Fulham, basically, they are terrible in the last 2 months or the whole season.
Yeah, I would expect a very strong side from Manchester United because of how bad the performance was against Liverpool in their last game. The loss of Harry Maguire is massive. It really is. You know, he doesn't miss many minutes at all for Manchester United. People can discuss how good they think he is or otherwise, but he's obviously a crucial component to that defence. Bailly and Lindelof, does it quite work? Have they played together enough? It certainly looked like they were an inexperienced pairing against Liverpool on Thursday last week. Offensively, they were very poor as well. Cavani starting and playing 90 minutes. I don't think that's a very good idea. He's not the signing of the season. He's the substitute of the season. The last 30 minutes, he comes on and his incredible movement and experience baffles defenders. You play him for 90 minutes, it gets to the hour and he realises he's got 34-year-old legs. I've got them. They can't run for that long. That's a fact. I expect a strong team here nonetheless. I expect Mason Greenwood to start as the form player scoring goals for Manchester United. And I expect them to put on a show here because A, fans are back in Old Trafford for the first time. Well, allowed back in anyway. And B, they were so bad last time. There are players here playing for their places in the Europa League final. Fulham, not a great deal to talk about with them. Should have stayed up with the quality of squad they've got. Haven't because of a run of dismal performances. 1 point in the last 5. They reeled that 10-point gap in, then fell away. I expect Man United to win, and I'd be looking for them to win without conceding a goal, focusing on keeping that clean sheet for Bailly and Lindelof. 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. That's what I'd be looking at.
Then we have to go for a win 2-0 for Man United. We have odds 2.38. You are right. We saw already fans of Man United at Old Trafford, but they were not allowed to get in against Liverpool. Now they can get in the stadium and they will be okay with the police and with everyone. Then we go to St. Mary's, Southampton, Leeds, two teams that probably they are happy about their season. For sure, Leeds United, amazing what Bielsa's men have been doing the whole season. They got another thrashing victory against Burnley with Rodrigo. So surprised, actually. They spent good money for the Spaniard scoring a brace. And Southampton, despite all the problems, well, they got the salvation. The last week they beat Fulham. Also, they got this is back-to-back victories because they also beat Crystal Palace. And here the odds give us the idea that this could be a very balanced game, probably a draw.
Yeah, I said to you in the last video we did that we were going to start getting some crazy scores in the Barclays, and we certainly got them over the weekend just gone. And Southampton's games are maybe a great example of that. Couldn't score at all going into Fulham, a 3-1 win there, a 3-1 win, a 3-2 win before that against Crystal Palace. And that was 3-1 as well. So 6 goals in 2 games before that, couldn't score at all. So they've got a bit of that end of season freedom, which we've seen from a few teams. Similar story maybe for Leeds United, who I was covering the game against Burnley early Saturday, and they were sensational going forward. That 4th goal they scored, which was the Phillips to Harrison to Rodrigo, round the keeper and score. One of the goals of the season for technical brilliance. It was superb. I think this could be a really entertaining game, because Southampton are a side who are playing with that freedom. Leeds love to get forward. I think they're both going out there to entertain a crowd at St. Mary's. I'd be shading it towards Leeds United if to pick a victor, but high-scoring draw would be on the cards here for me. 2-2, 3-3, one to watch.
The thing is that in the over market, we don't get a lot of money. We have to go for over 3.5 goals. Odds are 2.5 for this. If we go for a draw, odds around 4. So actually, probably it's a good idea here going for a draw. Then we stay in the south of England, Brighton, Man City, probably as well. Also, Guardiola can use this game to prepare the Champions League final. Maybe they rest many players for their last game against Everton. And as you said, we saw another crazy scoreboard against Newcastle, 3-4. Ferran Torres scoring a hat-trick. It's been a Spanish weekend in the Premier League. And Brighton, they drew against West Ham after they beat Wolves. So they are not after the defeat, against Wolverhampton. So, of course, here again, City to win easily.
Yeah, of course, City win. I mean, look, I'm never going to bet against City win this season. That's not smart money for anybody. Difficult to pick anything else out with Man City because, of course, we play pep roulette every week. The team will change 6, 7, 8 players week in, week out. I mean, Scott Carson starting at St James's Park, first start in the Premier League for a decade. You know, he looks a little bit like a fan who just wandered in and bought the kit in the club shop and wandered onto the field. You shouldn't be playing in the Premier League with a beer belly, but we are where we are with Man City right now. What that says about Zach Steffen, I don't know, but it was super fun to see him play and maybe shows you where Man City are. It's almost participation medals now for them. As for Brighton, West Ham should have won. They should have won on Saturday. They were the better side, West Ham, but Brighton defensively have been very, very good. Even without Lewis Dunk, Webster, White, very, very good. Bissouma played well. They look solid and hard to beat, as they have been for long spells of this season. So I'll take City win without conceding, but I wouldn't go high scoring here. No more than 2-0 for Manchester City, but I wouldn't see City conceding. 1-0, 2-0, that's it.
Win 2-0, then for Man City, odds 2.6. Not that bad, actually. And the last game we have on Tuesday, we have the replay of the FA Cup final, Chelsea, Leicester City, and there is a lot of on stake here, of course, because Liverpool, they are winning, so these teams are not yet qualified for the Champions League. Actually, Chelsea only 1 point ahead of Liverpool, Leicester City 3 points. What do you expect here after this defeat of Chelsea in the FA Cup final? Also, they lost against Arsenal in their last game in the Premier League.
What I expect is one of these teams not to qualify for the Champions League. That's what I expect. And whoever loses this game will not qualify because I expect Liverpool to win both of their remaining games. Look, the FA Cup final was a brilliant FA Cup final. Anyone but the top 6 is a great success for football. Everyone loves Leicester City. Tielemans' goal, tremendous. The great VAR drama at the end. All of it. I loved it. I loved everything about the FA Cup final. It had a certain magic to it, which has maybe been missing with some of the winners we've had over the last decade. In this one, man, oh man, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, going into the Arsenal game, I would have backed Chelsea all day long. I thought they were dismal against Arsenal and they lacked creativity in the FA Cup final. Is Thomas Tuchel tinkering too much? I think there's a fair argument there that he's making so many changes that no one really knows what kind of team they are at the moment. I think the loss of Christensen is massive for Chelsea as he gave that back 3 balance. And of course, you build a defence around Thiago Silva. He can play one game and can't play next week. You just can't do that, I don't think, if you're trying to build a team around a certain defender. As for Leicester, will they have celebrated that victory in the FA Cup wildly? I hope so, but I also hope they were able to stay slightly controlled for this game because this is the game of the season. No Johnny Evans, massive blow for Leicester. I doubt very much he'll come back for it. I see it being very, very tight. As we said last week, every Thomas Tuchel game is very, very tight. They win by a small margin. They lose by a small margin. I think you'll see Christian Pulisic start in this game. I think you'll see Timo Werner start in this game. I think you'll see Kai Havertz start in this game. I think Chelsea are going to try and do something they haven't really done under Thomas Tuchel, and that's attack and entertain. The crowd are in. I expect a big performance from Chelsea, which we've not had the last couple of weeks, and I can only see Chelsea winning. I think they'll be solid. I think they'll nick a goal. I think they'll shut it down, and I think under 1.5, 1-0 Chelsea win.
Very low odds actually for Chelsea victory. They are huge favorite. Odds 1.7. The last game of the season for Chelsea is against Aston Villa. The last one for Leicester City against Tottenham. And as you said, this is a massive game to qualify for the Champions League. Then on Wednesday, we have Everton Wolves played at Goodison Park, so maybe we should back Wolves because in the last video we said, no, Everton have to beat Sheffield United. They have to do it. They are the worst team in the Premier League. No, they lost again. Last 6 home games, 2 draws, 4 defeats. They are absolutely awful playing at home. And Wolves, they lost 2-0 to Tottenham. So why don't we put our money on Wolves?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? The home form is absolutely incredible for Everton this season. I can't believe they lost to Sheffield United. I was working that game last night and, you know, Sheffield United were deserved winners. Great story with the 17-year-old Jebberson scoring the winner. But Everton, you know, never really looked likely in the second half. In the first half, Ramsdale made some good saves. In the second, they offered nothing. You know, some of the teams they've lost to at home this season, unbelievable. They're the 5th worst team in the Premier League this season at home. Away from home, they'd be in the top 4. You know, they've won so many away games, and they keep losing home games, and I don't know why. Do I expect a reaction against Wolves? I do. I do expect a reaction because Wolverhampton Wanderers are maybe one of the only teams who have been more dismal than Everton in recent weeks. It was a rather pathetic performance against Tottenham at the weekend. They got the victory over Brighton at home in the game before that, but with so many players out, it took a Brighton sending off and a late goal from Gibbs White to give them something from it. You know, I keep saying this, that I expect Everton to turn it around, and I've been saying it for 5 months now. Maybe it's a fool's errand, keep saying this, but I think Everton will turn it around at some point. It's whether they can get the first goal. If they get the first goal, they win. If they don't, they struggle. But I just don't see where the goals are going to come from for Wolves. You know, you can burst past Allison, so Traore might be able to do that. Tough, this one. I think first goal wins it. I'd be looking at 1-0 Everton if I was to go either way, but very, very tough game. Very tough game, this one. Low scoring would be my prediction.
We saw there 1-0 for Everton, odds 7.0. If we go for Everton, we have odds 1.97. If we go for the double chance for Wolves, which is happening in Goodison Park in the last 6 games, we have odds around 2.0. So another option if someone wants to trust Nuno Espiritu Santos men, then we go northern, we go to Newcastle, Sheffield United. Newcastle, they are entertaining us in the last games, actually. That defeat against Man City, 7 goals. The victory against Leicester, 6 goals. Only 2 defeats in the last 7 games. And now they play the bottom of the table. And it's an interesting stat here for Sheffield United, Tom. In the last 12 games, if we have bet both teams to score no, we have won all 12 games.
Wow. Wow. Well, there you go. Follow it. Follow it. Don't step away from it. Yeah, I think that both teams to score is a very sound bet here because Newcastle are free scoring right now. No one would have seen this coming. And even without Callum Wilson, they were free scoring. Joe Willock playing fantastically. So Maximan looks terrific. Almiron adds pace and flair. John Joe Shelby's passing range always been fantastic. And a bit like Southampton from earlier, they're playing with a certain freedom right now, which has not been there for Newcastle. It always feels like the weight of the world is on their shoulders. And it's the same story with Sheffield United. The pressure they've been under all season, it's alleviated with the certainty of relegation. And they put in their best performance of the campaign against Everton at Goodison Park on Sunday. So look, tough one. I think both teams to score is a very, very sound bet. I'd be looking Newcastle win both teams to score because I've been really impressed by Newcastle. And, I mean, Sheffield United winning back-to-back games, you know, that's not going to happen. That can't happen. That'd be unfathomable to happen. So 2-1 Newcastle, both teams to score, Newcastle win, St. James's Park with 10,000 fans in. This could be a great game, actually. This could be a game well worth watching, surprisingly. You might not think so on paper, but I fancy it, and I fancy Newcastle to shade it.
If we go for both teams to score no, as the last 12 games for Sheffield United, actually we have odds 2.10. If we go for the yes, as you tipped, we have odds 1.85. So actually the bookies trust more the yes than the no. For this game, Newcastle odds actually are not bad, 1.78. If someone fancies also a home victory in St. James's Park, then Tottenham, Aston Villa. I read you during the weekend, Tom, what would have happened if Jose Mourinho was not in charge of these Spurs.
Yeah.
We would never know for sure, but well, they beat Wolves. Kane scored again. Kane fighting with Mo Salah for being the top scorer of the competition, 22 goals for them. And still they can qualify for the Europa League. They will play probably in Europe next season, and they should beat, I guess, Aston Villa, team that they lost against Crystal Palace, and only one victory in the last 9 Premier League games, so they are gone of the competition.
Yeah, I think Everton's loss on Sunday has all but confirmed Tottenham, West Ham and Liverpool will be playing European football next season, because I expect all of those teams to win one of their 2 remaining games. And so the goal difference differential, the Toffees probably won't turn that over. With Tottenham Hotspur, what I mentioned this weekend, watching Spurs, I watched their game against Leeds last week and I watched them this weekend. And they remind me a lot of the Ossie Ardiles Tottenham that I grew up with in the 90s, being that they just simply do not care about defending. They're not interested in it. And maybe a different manager could have given us a really entertaining Tottenham this season. Lo Celso getting the nod in midfield is quite telling, I think. Dele Alli coming back in. Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Gareth Bale starting. You know, they're just sort of playing with 5 up front, everyone else sort of defending. But if you want to join the attack, that's fine. It leads to losses like Leeds and victories like the weekend. So I expect this to be reasonably entertaining. Villa, vaguely similar, still getting on without Jack Grealish, and there's no real need to push Grealish here because Villa are going to finish probably top of the bottom half, and that's not a bad outcome considering they lost their best player for the last quarter of the season. Their game against Palace was pretty entertaining. I see goals here. I see goals for both teams. I'd expect Tottenham to shade it and look out for Harry Kane to score multiple goals in this as well. So Kane, anytime goal scorer, both teams to score, Tottenham to win. Those are the bets from me.
Shuban is telling us that the odds are too low for the Spurs. Of course, 1.58. If we go for Asian handicap, expecting an easy victory for the home team, we have to go for Asian handicap minus 1.5, probably to have decent odds. Odds 2.52 for that, so they have to win for 2 goals difference, like they did actually in the weekend. Then another London derby, Crystal Palace, Arsenal. Well, what to expect here? Actually, the last 3 Premier League games for Arsenal, 3 victories. This is quite surprising, we have to say. Probably they haven't done it in the whole season. And Crystal Palace, they won their last home game, as we said, against Aston Villa. Tom, by the way, is Arteta going to continue in charge of Arsenal? I hope not, no, for the next season.
I think he's going to. I think he has to. They've bet the farm on Mikel Arteta, you know. And some of the players, I am told, treat him with an almost godlike reverence. They really believe in Mikel Arteta. Others very much do not and are thinking about joining another church. But some believe that Arteta is very much the messiah at that club. And it would seem that Edu does and the hierarchy do. And he is going to get another run at this. And maybe, who knows, but maybe if there is a well of cash that could be put into this club, if they can keep some of their best players and ship. I feel like Arsenal are always shipping on the deadwood, but there's lots of deadwood as ever to be shipped. David Luiz, Willian, these guys all set to go. I think they might have a good season next season because no European football, right? I mean, that's going to be a whole bunch of less games for the first time in 25 years. They might find that sweet relief as opposed to playing like Sparta Prague on a Thursday in April, which is incredibly, incredibly draining for a club like Arsenal to keep on doing. So in this particular game, I think Crystal Palace were great against Villa in spells. Love watching Eze and Zaha together. You know, it's a shame we've not seen them playing a bit more free this season, but Palace have got their record Premier League points total this season. So again, Roy Hodgson's methods have been proved right. He is going to be leaving, we all expect, in a couple of games' time. But what a job he has done there. Palace never in relegation trouble because he's one of the best coaches of a team in terms of organisation we maybe have ever had in this division. Roy Hodgson takes over, you're going to be mid-table. Don't you worry about it. In this particular game, Arsenal's 3 wins. I think they played well in one of those games. That was the win over Newcastle. They were poor, I think, against Chelsea, but somehow won. They were poor against West Brom and somehow won. In this one, I expect Arsenal to play poorly and win. It seems to be the way things are going right now. Crystal Palace, I think that was their final flourish against Villa the weekend just gone. I expect Arsenal to go there and win reasonably comfortably. Without conceding, I expect Arsenal to win.
Arsenal to win 2-0. Then we have to go for that market, 7. We can find the odds on Oddspedia. Then we have Burnley, Liverpool. You mentioned before, Tom, that Liverpool will win their last 2 remaining games. So, for sure, they have to win this one. They struggle a lot against West Brom until the last minute. Alisson scored a header, and we have to say the terrible statistics of Burnley playing at home. No victories in their last 10 home games.
Yeah. Do you know that was the first goalkeeper ever to score for Liverpool in their entire history in any competition? Incredible. I didn't know that until someone told me that on Monday morning. It was a staggering statistic and an incredible moment. And what a header it was from Allison. And it was a season-saving moment. That might be, if Liverpool were to release a season highlights DVD, a DVD still a thing? A season highlights YouTube video or something. It might just be that goal on repeat because nothing else good has happened. But that was a spectacular moment. And it's the moment for me they qualify for the Champions League because I see them easily winning here. And I see them easily winning on the last day against Crystal Palace, against Roy Hodgson, of course, their former boss as well. Look, Burnley are awful. I mean, they look like a side that got the job done and are looking to end this season. And I don't blame them for that because we've all been going at this since July 2020 and it's May 2021. Everybody is shattered. Nobody wants a European Championships. Everybody wants to go on the Norfolk Broads. And so Liverpool win this game. Burnley don't score. They were awful against Leeds. I expect a similar story here. And I expect Liverpool to win big, actually. Leeds hit them for 4. And I think Liverpool are going to hit them for 4 as well, despite fans being back in. I've been looking Asian handicap here and Liverpool to win heavily. Maybe Asian handicap 2?
Asian handicap -2. Then we have odds 2.25. I also read that now Alisson has scored more goals than Jamie Carragher for Liverpool, actually.
Oh, it's I think it was a great one by Richard Jolly, who's a brilliant journalist and a friend of mine, and he was saying that Jamie Carragher averages a goal for Liverpool 170 games or so. Alisson averages 1 goal every 130, so he's got a better goal-scoring average than Jamie Carragher, which was brilliant. He's great at those things, Richard. Really good.
Exactly, that was the tweet I read also this weekend. And the last game we have is West Brom, the team that conceded that header against your West Ham. They drew again against Brighton. Now they are 7th. They are dropping because only 1 victory in the last 6 Premier League games. A pity for the Hammers, but of course they made a really good season and they have to beat West Brom, Tom.
They've got to beat West Brom or Southampton to qualify for either the Conference League or the Europa League. West Ham will be very happy with either. They would be happy with either. Most fans would be delighted to be in the inaugural Conference League season. We don't know really what it is yet, but a few European games against winnable opposition. I think Rubin Kazan qualified for it this week, and I'd be delighted to go away to Rubin Kazan. Hook me up. Get me on the plane. I'd love to go there. It is disappointing they're falling out the Champions League race, but of course, no one really expected them to be in it. They just look a bit gassed the last couple of weeks. Everton scored a goal, smashed and grabbed and won at London Stadium. And West Ham couldn't make their dominance pay against Brighton. They had so many chances, half chances, good chances, and conceded were really Brighton's only decent attack of the game on Saturday. And Sam Allardyce, by the way, who managed West Ham, who had an acrimonious split from West Ham after 4 years in charge, as everyone does at West Ham for one reason or the other. He would love to beat West Ham. He absolutely would love it. You know, he's a man that holds a grudge, and he would love to eliminate West Ham from European football this season. I don't think that would happen because of the Southampton game coming up, but certainly make it a lot more difficult. And if you just take Allardyce Albion, they wouldn't be in the bottom 3 on the points they have got. It was the Bilic time and the early transition for Allardyce which really cost them. Since March, they've been a mid-table Premier League team. You know, he's still a very good manager, and as we saw against Liverpool, they will give anybody a game. But West Ham simply have to win this. It's a real tough one. Real tough one. And personally, I don't think West Ham will win, but I also wouldn't back Albion. This game has got draw written all over it, and I would be looking at 0-0 potentially as well. Maybe give it a miss.
4.36 then for the draw. Kazan, the capital of Tatarstan. I'm sure you love tartar sauce, for instance.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't?
So you can enjoy some tartar sauce if you travel to Kazan in the next season, Tom. Then all 10 games we've analyzed. Let's see, you have an ACCA for us?
I do. It's not particularly spectacular, this one, because my predictions are a bit tentative when we get to this point of the season because the games are so unpredictable. But I will be picking Man United to beat Fulham on Tuesday, City to win at Brighton on Tuesday as well, Liverpool win at Burnley, and Arsenal win at Palace. So it's a bit of a cop-out. I've gone for 4 of the big 6, but they're the only safe bets for me.
Odds, you mentioned Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, and Man United to win. We have odds 3.54 for this. ACCA is tricky. Again, these midweek games, penultimate match day, not a lot of things to be played in many games. But, well, we have all your analysis done. Thank you very much. We will see each other again for the last video of the season in this Premier League. And thanks everyone also for being here with us. You can still leave a comment for sure and get the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. And you can still like the video, subscribe to our channel, click on the bell to get notifications, listen to our videos in our podcast. So Tom, see you this week. Enjoy that West Brom West Ham.
I may be the only person who's watching it and enjoying it, but I'm